If you're like most parents, you want your kids to understand the reality of certain dangers without instilling fear and anxiety in them. My recommendation for talking about all sensitive topics with kids, whether it's the birds and the bees or coronavirus, is to be honest and appropriately vague. Kids don't need to understand the details of probabilities, severe symptoms, or risk of hospitalization. What they do need to understand is that there are germs out there right now that are very contagious. When kids ask questions, they're not always looking for detailed responses. Sometimes what they're searching for really is a sense of security. And you can provide that security to them by not sharing what I recently heard a 9-year-old refer to as worrying details. Don't try to assure them of what's going to happen. Instead, assure them that they can reduce their risk of spreading germs by engaging in certain sanitary practices. Focusing on what our kids can do to help themselves and the people around them stay as healthy as possible is really empowering for kids. So talk very matter-of-factly about the importance of proper hand washing, not sharing items, food or drinks, not touching their faces, picking their noses, or biting their fingernails. And if you figure those last two out, I need you to give me a call. Knowing what they can do to help allows each kid to feel like an active participant rather than a helpless bystander. Use language that is centered around staying healthy rather than being safe. That can help minimize kids' fear while still conveying the importance of taking certain precautionary measures. And it helps them understand the why behind those measures. So instead of focusing on the risks of not hand washing, for example, help them understand how hand washing can help prevent the spread of germs. Use similar language when talking about social distancing or minimizing social contacts. It can be really scary for kids when we focus on the risks of going outside the home and possibly getting sick. So instead, focus on the helpfulness of minimizing social contacts. Tell kids that by staying home or avoiding crowds, we lower the chances of passing germs. Quite simply, we're helping ourselves and our community stay healthier by keeping our germs separate. Our kids get around. They're going to be exposed to information from different sources. Help them to sort through the difference between truth and rumor. Allow them to ask questions and take all of their questions very seriously. Don't overwhelm them with information. Give them the very basic information that they need in order to be healthy and informed. Try not to have the news on constantly or to make this too frequent a topic of conversation. Very basically, be matter of fact, make sure they understand what needs to happen and why, and then move on with whatever routines and sense of normalcy that you can right now. Normalize kids' reactions to what is going on. Try not to minimize or deny what they're experiencing or feeling. If they're feeling fear, talk about that fear. If they're experiencing worry, give them a place to process those worries. If they feel upset about missing fun activities and not seeing their friends, validate that disappointment and let them know when you're experiencing something similar. Simply telling kids not to be concerned or afraid isn't helpful for them emotionally, and it can result in them feeling misunderstood, being perceived as foolish, or very simply being left alone with their fear. Model for your kids how to appropriately express and manage the whole range of emotions. There's a tremendous amount of stress in the world for our kids and for us today and every day. This is an opportunity we have to teach them some healthy ways to work through some of the physical and emotional stress that we experience. Practice relaxation strategies together as a family. Those can include deep breathing, muscle relaxation, guided imagery, or anything else that you find on the internet. Practice mindfulness as a family as you talk through the different sensations that you're all experiencing right now. Identify healthy outlets, especially for those unpleasant emotions, and celebrate when things are going well. My name is Claire White, and I'm passionate about helping adults and kids communicate in healthy ways. You can find additional parenting resources and everyday communication tips at my website, clairegoodmanwhite.com, and you're welcome to share this video with anyone who might find it useful.